Hola amigos de Wine News TV Puerto Rico, me encuentro aquí en la Boutique Dubán. Estoy hoy con Ed Murray, que representa el portafolio enorme de Caymus. Vamos a hacer una entrevista en inglés, pero como siempre les doy la bienvenida en nuestro idioma aquí de Puerto Rico. Ed es el encargado de ventas del portafolio de Caymus para Estados Unidos y está a cargo del Caribe también. Ed, nice to meet you.
Mucho gusto, señor. Si puede hablar un poco de inglés y español.
We'll go back and forth, don't worry. So before we get into the wines, I'm super excited. You know, I've been a customer and a fan of Caymus for a number of years now. And I see a bunch of new labels. Before we get into the wines that you have shared with us today, can you tell me a little bit about the Caymus philosophy, the portfolio, the family, the Wagner family behind? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I mean, it certainly is family first, and that's always been our mantra. It's always been our direction. You know, Chuck Wagner started Caymus Vineyards with his parents. He's seen and worked with his parents for 30 some odd years, and now his children are involved in the family business. So we continue along in that regard. And really our focus from start to finish is always quality first.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we strive to put our best foot forward and create a wine that is quality driven. We're not worried about case quantities.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who we are. We like to create wines that are unique, that are rich in flavor and profile, and that appeal to the consumer that likes our style of wines. Our style is very consistent year in and year out. Mother Nature dictates every single year what will happen in the vintage and the vineyards. If you think you understand it, it changes every year.
Exactly.
Every single season is different.
That's you touch on a word, consistency. I mean, you guys have consistent wines. All of these wines, all the wines that I've had from your portfolio are fantastic. And you were telling me, Ed, off camera, that the partnership between Caymus and the Cimino family has been ongoing for a quarter of a century.
At least with Plaza Cellars, I've worked with Plaza Cellars for 22 years.
Okay.
So, and beyond that, when I came on board, we were already doing business with Plaza Cellars here in Puerto Rico. So I would probably say 30 years is, or somewhere in that general vicinity. The exact time frame, I'm not sure of, but it's okay.
It's a long history.
It's a great partnership. I've seen the team at Plaza Cellars continue to grow, and when I started working, you know, Michael Mateo was a street person, and now he runs the company.
Yeah, Mike. So. Kudos to Mike. He's always been a supporter of our wine project, our wine blog, and our wine channel. Yep. So kudos to Mike. So today we have a couple of new labels for me, to be honest with you. So we have a Chardonnay. What can you tell us about this wine?
So this is Season Chardonnay. It's brand new to Puerto Rico. This is literally the first vintage that has arrived in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And you know, the name is perfect for Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Sea and sun. I mean, you get sea all the time. The sea's gorgeous. The sunlight here, you can't beat this market. This is the perfect time of year to be here. So this wine should just resonate with the consumers, not only in the tourist section of the island, but all over. Sea and sun really makes sense, and it's a fun play on words too. You know, we've produced Mercelet for many years. We have our Reserve Chardonnay on the table, and Mercelet is French for sea and sun. So it's a little bit of a
I
fun
love
play
the
on words.
nose here. It's so elegant, but at the same time it's ripe. You get that baked apple pie spice. Does this see a barrel? Is this barrel fermented?
This wine has a little bit of barrel time. What's unique about this wine is it's a California appellation. Cheers.
California appellation?
Yes. So it's multiple areas of California, and actually on the back label you can see the percentages of the different areas where we've sourced this fruit from. So we are using areas of Santa Barbara County, Monterey County, as well as Solano County. The Mercelet Reserve Chardonnay, for example, happens to be Santa Lucia Highlands, which is within the confines of Monterey County. This is designed to be a little bit less expensive, a little bit more fun. This is your good everyday drinking wine. You can take this to the beach.
Spectacular.
You know,
if you consider this to be the entry wine, I mean, it's fantastic, Ed. It's delicious. It's gorgeous. What would you pair this with? If, let's say, a friend of yours, so I show up at your house and I say, I got this bottle, what would you eat it with?
Oh, okay, so eating it. See, I would pair this with a good day at the beach.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's, for me, me would be, I think, the best thing. However, you really could have all kinds of fun with this. I think it would be great with shrimp, chilled shrimp, or freshly cooked shrimp off the grill.
Yeah.
Crab legs would be delicious.
Crab
with
legs
this.
for sure.
Nice little crab cake dinner. Really, it's really wide open. There's lots of things that you can play with this with, and just all by itself. I mean, the wine drinks so nicely just by itself.
It's
Doesn't
delicious.
overpower.
It's gorgeous.
It's got good clean flavors to it. It's got richness and texture.
It's got
just
that richness.
fun.
I mean, it's bold, and now that the Thanksgiving season is upon us, I would perhaps pair this with, those yams with marshmallows on top.
Yeah.
Those are good. Those
Well,
would be good with.
Thanksgiving dinner table is always the hardest meal to pair, and quite frankly, we have the best wine on the table for Thanksgiving dinner, which is Conundrum White.
Yeah,
It
Conundrum is a blend of
absolutely
I've had that one
is
before.
Phenomenal. And the thing about Conundrum White is it's 5 component varietals, and it can handle all of the varying different flavors that you have on the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Exactly
Whether
right.
it's a traditional Thanksgiving, or is there a special dish for Puerto Rico at Thanksgiving? Maybe a
Well,
little
we,
mofongo,
we, we, we tend to have the cranberry, the turkey, of course. We have a potato salad, ensalada de papa.
Okay.
But then we have the longest Christmas in the world, so sometimes somebody throws a morcilla on the side. Somebody
Me gusta
brings.
morcilla. Morcilla is
Let's go into the second wine, the red
tengo mucho
schooner.
hambre.
Red schooner. What can you tell me about this one?
So red schooner is
Schooner.
schooner. Yeah. So schooner would be a ship,
Yep.
a sailing ship, and for us, we looked at trying to grow Malbec in California. Malbec is an exceptional grape, but where does it grow the best? I mean,
Argentina.
Argentina is just without a doubt one of the best places to grow Malbec. So we went down to Argentina and we found some land and some growers that we think are just fabulous. They are same kind of sense of place and sense of family like we are. We've grown the fruit down there, but we actually take an extraordinary measure where we harvest the fruit, we pack it into our bins, we put it in a refrigerated container, we line the bins with dry ice, so it gets the fruit right at like a cold stabilized 34 degrees, and we truck it over the Andes Mountains to Valparaiso. So that, and Valparaiso gets put on a ship in a refrigerated container, and it's actually sailed all the way to California.
Oh, that's the schooner then.
That's the schooner.
I get
Exactly.
it. The nose is gorgeous. It has this freshness, this purity of fruit, but then you get those herbs, that mint, that freshness. You get a little bit of spice. I love this wine.
Well, and you know what's fun about Malbec is Malbec is such a fun grape to work with, and this wine is so delicious. It's actually, Puerto Ricans have embraced this wine. We have seen our sales on this wine just skyrocket.
I've seen it in different restaurants. I've seen it in different shops. My compadre,
Here at La
the
Boutique
godfather of
Duban.
my kid, had it and loved it. Here at Boutique Duban, of course, you can find it. I
Absolutely.
love the freshness. It's like, but at the same time, you do notice the ripeness, that fruit. Let me try it in the palate.
So this is voyage 6. So we've done this for 7 consecutive voyages now. Voyage 7 is just now hitting the market here in Puerto Rico. So this voyage 6 is actually perfect. It's tasting tremendous. There's a good rich depth and complexity. It hits your palate and just kind of washes over your palate. What's unique about the wine, especially the front label, is you have a wonderful piece of artwork that's on the front label, and you see the red schooner and the voyage 6, but the back label is where the story is told. Because the fruit leaves the country of origin as fruit, not juice, because we don't do the crushing there. So we bring everything to Napa where we do all the crushing, the destemming, the fermentation, the barrel aging, everything. And by doing that, which is very labor intensive,
Love it.
the government does now allow us to put the varietal content or a vintage on the front label. So we got creative. We came up with the red schooner because it literally sails on a ship to California.
How long does the voyage take?
It varies. It depends on the time to get it to the port. You know, at that time of year, you're going into the fall season, so sometimes the pass over the Andes Mountains is closed due to weather. So it could be delayed, but fortunately the temperatures are very cool.
These grapes literally travel to make it to your table.
Yes,
It's
they do.
amazing.
Yes,
What do
they
you
do.
pair this with? A friend of ours is watching and said, I love the red schooner. What would you eat this with?
You could have this with everything from a braised pork shoulder.
Yeah.
It would be delicious with the traditional
The
mofongo.
pork or the lechon de Navidad here, the pork.
With lechon here. I mean,
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it has that spice. That
that's
has
one of my favorite things is lechon. It's just without a doubt. But I've had this with steak.
You live in Orlando, which
I
is
live in
another municipality of Puerto Rico now.
San
so-
Juan del Norte. So-
All right, lovely wine. Let's go to this. This is totally new for me.
Yes.
I have not even seen the label before. What can you tell me about the third wine?
So this is Caymus Sassoon Grand Reef. So Sassoon Valley is one valley to the east of Napa Valley over the Vaca Mountain Range. So this is an AVA that's been around since 1982. And what's special about this is it's been there, and there's a wonderful host of different small growers that are doing tremendous work with small production, typically black fruit like Petit Syrah or Zinfandel or Syrah. And so we've gone over there and we've kind of embraced this area. For Chuck, it's like going back in time to the Napa Valley in the 70s and the 80s when things were a little bit calmer and quieter, and it wasn't so many big name wineries. It's just old school, the way things used to be in the Napa Valley. And for him, it's a very exciting place to be. So Sassoon Valley is the actual valley where this is grown. We're building a winery there, so it will be Caymus Sassoon. So this is
Is this new? Is this new for our viewers?
This is brand new. This vintage is 2017, so this is our third vintage on
Third.
this. Okay, this is the first vintage that had made it to Puerto Rico. The first vintage that we sold outside of California sold out in a matter of months. This is the second vintage.
I guess Ed, that once you have that branding, Caymus, whatever you guys, not whatever, I don't want to be insulting here, but you have a seal of approval, a stamp of quality. You guys put something out in the market, it's like Apple products, they're gonna be pretty kick-ass products, This smells like menthol. When I was little, I would play a lot of sports. Obviously not anymore. I put up a few pounds. But whenever I would hit myself against a wall or something, my mom would rub some menthol, the freshness here, this sensation of a very clean, vibrant fruit is coming through. This is made from which grape?
So that's the fun part about the name Grand Reef. Jarif is translated from French to English, Petit Syrah. So, and it explains it on the back label for you, so you have some education. But most consumers will see this and they won't know what the varietal content is. So this is one that really needs that education. And it's classic Petit Syrah, but the thing about Petit Syrah is it tends to be a little abrasive on the mouth.
But here it's elegant. It doesn't go sideways. I mean, it's like it dances. It's velvety. It's silky. It's big. It's a big boy at 15.4 alcohol, but it's not overblown.
Carry the alcohol. The alcohol, you don't feel it. You feel and you taste the richness of the fruit and the flavor profile that Chuck has endeavored. This is what the Wagners do. They have learned to allow the grapes. They've allowed Mother Nature to show them the way, to guide them every single year. And so what ends up happening is we're able to actually grow and ripen this fruit properly, so it doesn't show that heavy kind of tannic flavor.
It's not there at all. It's
this
magnificent.
drinks, we opened this bottle 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And this drinks perfectly.
And it's a 2017.
This is absolutely delicious. So,
and it seems to me that this wine will be different in 20 minutes here in the glass, and then different again in an hour. So it evolves. It already changed from when I first smelled it.
Well, and Chef is making duck tonight, so we're having pato, and this will be fabulous with duck. I had it last night. We had some steak, and this was fabulous with steak. It was a dry aged steak, so that truffly, mushroomy flavor was coming out.
This is a winner.
And
This is a winner. This is going to be a winner in Puerto Rico.
Delicious. I think this will become a massive wine for Puerto Rico, just
I
like
think so,
Red
too.
Schooner has, just like Caymus has.
Can't
Emilo
wait.
Merlot has grown to a crescendo of volume in Puerto Rico, and our Conundrum Red. This wine is
Fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
It's
The
gonna be a lot
challenge
of fun.
would be getting people to pick up the wine and try it. But people like La Boutique de Vin here, Laura and all of her team, some of our other customers around.
We'll make some
the
noise
market.
with it. Don't
Yes.
worry. We'll make some noise with
Yes,
our
I think
30,000
that's-
plus followers.
I think
and
this will definitely be.
it's
a
delicious.
big wine.
I can barely put it down. It has that cocoa, has that component of shaved chocolate. I love it. All right,
It's
so
delicious.
for the last one, Ed, Bonanza. What can you tell me about this one?
So Bonanza is fun. This is Chuck Wagner having fun, and that's the thing about growing grapes and making wine. Chuck enjoys this. His family enjoys this. This is their passion. Our job is to sell these wines, and they make it very easy for us to sell these wines. They produce great stuff. So in this case, Chuck has started looking around California at other appellations where potentially we could source Cabernet fruit. And so he's putting together a California appellated wine, but it's a non-vintage wine. This is
Okay.
lot number 2.
Okay.
Pretty sure this is lot number 2.
Let me see.
Should
Take a
be.
look at it.
Let's make sure of that because, actually this is the very first lot. So lot
Okay.
number 2 is just now arriving in Puerto Rico. This is the final few bottles of
So I'm getting a lot of exclusives here.
Absolutely.
All right, keep telling.
Our friends at Plaza Cellars carry our entire portfolio, so that's the beauty of Plaza. So for Chuck, what this is having fun, kind of going back to the early days of when you were putting wines together and just having a good time. I mean, when you take away the facts that are required for a vintage wine and you're making a blended wine, in this case a couple of vintages blended together, it makes things a lot easier and you can have a lot of fun. So this is something that Chuck
That's what I love about America as a concept, as a whole, the freedom. You know,
Well, and that speaks to the name.
Exactly. Sometimes in other parts of the world, I don't want to throw mud at anybody, but you have your regulations and you cannot use this. You have to stick by this. But here is freedom of vintage, freedom of grape, freedom of alcohol, freedom of what you put on the label. The back part of the back label. I mean, what you do not see is chalk on a truck. It says Bonanza, and it has a story about my parents and I started
Yep.
Caymus Vineyards in 1972.
So again, it comes back to what the original discussion point was, his family. And that's a picture of Chuck in the truck and Charlie, and that was his father's truck. That was a blue Chevrolet. He still has that truck. It's a blue Chevrolet pickup truck that I believe
I love the
is
black fruit.
67.
We're getting into the black fruit here, pepper. Is this 100% cap?
This is.
Okay.
So what's interesting about this for the name, Bonanza. So Bonanza for us represents how the Wagners came to be in this country and how they made their way and made their living in this country. They immigrated to this country from France, Alsatian heritage. And they ultimately found their way from Bible Grove, Missouri to California and put down roots and have for many generations now lived and grown grapes and farmed the land.
I mean, they're
Basically,
amazing.
great
It's an
stewards of
amazing
land.
success
So
story.
this is our Bonanza. This is our reaping what the Mother Nature gives to us.
So I know that off camera we said we were not going to discuss prices and whatnot, but here it has the price on the bottle. For $26, you get an extremely well-made Cabernet from California, made by the Wagner family. This is so juicy, has that cherry, has that little tartness, bitterness, in a good way that Cab tends to have, but still is very easy to drink. I mean, the temperature here could be a little better, a little on the cooler side,
Touch.
but it's spectacular. I mean, this wine is going to kick ass in Puerto Rico.
I would
I'm
hope so.
telling you.
For your extended Christmas
Oh my
celebrations,
God.
this will be the wine that you serve when everyone is around the table
Yeah.
enjoying dinner, and then after they've gone home and it's just you and your wife or you and your family, that's when you come to our special selection.
Yeah,
Caymus
exactly.
Cabernet.
But this one, I mean, is I foresee great success for this wine. All
Hope so.
four of them have been fantastic. Obviously, I'll see you soon because I'm going to be attending the
Yes.
Fine Wine event from our friends at Plaza Cellars. Amigos, ha sido realmente un privilegio estar con el señor Ed Murray hoy. Hemos probado 4 vinos extraordinarios. El vino blanco, el Chardonnay, es un vino grande, intenso, pero no es pesado. El segundo vino que probamos, el Red Schooner, es un Malbec exquisito que tiene una historia particular porque las uvas son llevadas desde Argentina, pasan por Chile y llegan hasta los Estados Unidos. El tercer vino, que es un Petit Syrah, pero la etiqueta hace referencia al Durif, al nombre de la uva, extraordinario, potente, pero de nuevo no se siente abrasivo. Y el último vino por $26 es una joyita. Creo que va a ser un vino que se venda muy bien en Puerto Rico. Denle una oportunidad. Todo lo que hace la familia Caymus es de inmensa calidad. y tienen ya pues muchísimos años en el mercado puertorriqueño. Ed, I want to thank you. I know you understood everything because you
Sí.
speak Spanish.
Sí,
Cheers.
pero otro idioma. Soy mexicano, un poco.
Un poco mexicano. Salud amigos, será hasta la
Gracias
próxima.
a todos.
Recuerden suscribirse a nuestro canal WNTV PR de Wine News TV Puerto Rico. Salud.